It's time now. The Disney Plus series Skeleton Crew is here. On the heels of let's be honest, some rocky in terms of how they've been received series from Disney Plus when it comes to Star Wars. Let's be honest. Okay. Obi-Wan was a disappointment. Acolyte was nearly universally reviled. Ahsoka, people found boring. It's and like with the exception of the first two seasons, maybe of Mandalorian, I feel that Star Wars, at least on Disney Plus, has been rudderless. We don't know where is it all going. Do we even care? And the movie is non-existent since 2019. So, can this show, Skeleton Crew, turn things around? Let's see. Let's talk about the story first. Alan, if you would, explain the very thin story for this show, which is very much geared towards single-digit age children. Alan, take it away.
Okay, give me 1 second while I pull up the
I love how you're prepared.
Well, I didn't think I was gonna have to describe the story, so let me
that happens every time we do a review.
Here we go. Okay, I'm just trying to get character names and things like that. All right.
Sure.
So we have okay. So we're on the planet of Aden. A little boy named Wim is a young boy whose father is a workaholic, and father kind of he's sort of a latchkey kid. Gets into trouble once in a while with his buddy Fern. Sorry, not Fern. With Neil, some elephant-like creature friend of his, and they get into just some trouble. And one day they find a little kind of an artifact in the ground. They think it's a Jedi temple. When they try to dig it up, they're encountered by KB and Fern, and the four of them start to dig through, realize it's a spaceship. It's a starfighter, something like that, freighter. I don't know. Shows you how interested and involved I am in this movie. They actually hit a button, which activates the ship, and then the ship takes off, goes off to other worlds, and they don't know how to get back home. And then their parents at home are looking for them and wondering where they are. And along the way, and I'll jump to the end of the second episode. They meet a Jedi played by Jude Law, Jodna Nawud. And so it's a little adventure of these kids who abscond with the ship, get lost, and need to find a way home. How's that? You want to say more?
That's a really broad description. This is a show for children. It's inspired by 80s films like The Goonies and
Last
Starfighter, Explorers. It's very much for kids. It's kids' POV in the Star Wars universe. The story is simple. About the planet that they reside on is a hidden planet. It's not on any maps because there is potentially a treasure there. Episode 1 and 2 introduces us to the characters and situation. We end up meeting Jedi, maybe? Is he a Jedi? Jude Law plays Jodna Nawud. Is he a Jedi? We don't know. He was imprisoned for being kind of an idiot with a group of pirates. And I'll say this, I didn't hate this show. It is what it purports to be, a show for children. And what does Disney do well? They make shows for kids. I think this could be the most popular show on Disney Plus from the Star Wars camp, because the demographic of Disney Plus, the most popular thing on Disney Plus is Bluey. And this is kind of in that realm. So as a piece of Star Wars content, this will really hit the mark. And for the most part, people are enjoying it. I will say, kind of enjoyed the first 2 episodes. We'll get to episode 3. It's whimsical. The kids are likable. They're types of kids. They have attributes that you could describe with, here's the rebel, here's the this. they picked the actor who plays Wim, Ravi Cabot Conyers, kind of a gender-ish, like is a boy with a girl's haircut. There you go.
Racially and gender ambiguous.
Racially and gender ambiguous. So they're not taking a stand on anything.
Yes.
Right. And the girls in the show just act like boys. So rolling my eyes. So there are things in the show that I really enjoyed. Nick Frost is the voice of a robot that they find on the ship. He's SM-33 or SME, little reference to pirate character. There are other, they really do the world building well. I think it's one of the most beautiful looking of any Disney Plus Star Wars thing, next to The Mandalorian, in terms of its vistas, its ships, its cleverness. It focuses on kids' concerns. What are kids concerned about? Homework, friendship, parental approval or disapproval, school, having to deal with school issues and tests. So it's all focused on the things that an average kid on planet Earth would be concerned with. So the target it's going after, it hits pretty well. And I can't say I didn't dislike it. I had fun with it. And even the things that stood out and bothered me was like, but it's a dumb kid show. I'll tell you what some of those things are. They play Star Wars in the Star Wars show. Literally, Wim and his elephant like alien friend Neil like pretend they have lightsabers and play Star Wars. They play with Star Wars action figures in a Star Wars show or toys, right? Those things annoyed me. The things that made it more earthly, like a suburban neighborhood. The fact that one of the parents, the father of Wim, has glasses. Why would he not have like a bionic eye or something more space Star Wars-ish? No one wears glasses in Star Wars. I think that's kind of dumb.
But to your point, their teeth are fine.
Right. All I'm saying is there are little things that annoyed me, but if I watched any kid show, I would find a million little things that would annoy me. This was like an average number of annoying things. So I didn't hate it. Episode 3 opens with we meet the parents of the kids who have disembarked. I'll tell you more. So this is, put up the spoiler warning, Alan, if you would.
Yeah.
So episode 1 and 2, we meet Jude Law's character at the very end of the show who helps the kids escape. They're imprisoned in the same place. They escape. We just meet him. More adventures take place with Jadna Nawad and this group of children in the 3rd episode, which puts them at peril. And I got to say, Jude Law, I like him. His character, Jadna Nawad, is kind of a Han Solo roguish a-hole who has Jedi-like powers. I'm not sure if he's actually a Jedi. We'll see. We will see. But I like the way he is taking it dead seriously. If you're going to be believable, you take it seriously. And there is comic relief with SM-33. The kid character is always like, you suck. It's like, it's very much for kids. But at the beginning of the 3rd episode, we meet the parents. You meet a single dad, a single mom, Neil's parents, the elephant kid, as a mom and a dad, and you meet one of the characters' parents, KB. She has 2 moms. It's like Disney cannot help themselves. They have to have 2 moms. And I'll say it's 8 episodes, short, 30 minutes. I'm not going to watch it week to week. I don't think we'll be reporting on it every week. It's not worth it, but doesn't break any lore or really anything. It's a simple show for kids, and the tone, they hit it. they hit the tone of that kind of 80s, like, sensibility. So I don't know. I think this show is fine. It won't be lore breaking like like you know Acolyte was. There's nothing in it that would make you that would be upsetting in terms of they ruined this. I honestly I was like, I did not hate that. Kind of had fun. And it brought me back. This is the Ewok adventure. This is Caravan of Courage, which were in the 80s, 2 TV movies made about families in the Star Wars universe. And what it's trying to do, it aspired to a certain thing and it hit that thing. And like anything Disney now, there's a ton of little nitpicky, annoying things. But I could see myself watching this show with my kids if they were, under 11, and they would probably like it. So, I'm giving this kind of a mild recommendation and a wait and see, but what did you think, Alan?
Yeah, the sense I got was that Skeleton Crew is meant to get kids excited about Star Wars. And saying that 9-year-old me got excited about Star Wars thanks to this little movie.
What's it called?
It's called Star Wars. I mean, look, I posted this on X last night, and I got dozens of comments saying, "Yeah, I was 3 when I saw Star Wars," or "I was 7 when I saw Star Wars," "I was 8 when I saw Empire Strikes Back." My issue is kids deserve better, especially if you're gonna slap the Star Wars brand on it. Like again, when the first Star Wars came out in the theaters, I was 9-year-old when it came out. Most of my friends were, well, all of my friends were 9 years old at the time. We can handle this stuff. We know what a good story is. We know what this world is like, and we fell in love with it. And instead of giving us Star Wars, we get this. Right. It's fine. It's a kids movie or kids show. Kids, like I say, kids deserve better. The issue I have with this is that it's again, this is what Disney and a lot of other studios are falling into. There's no real story here other than a quest. Moana goes on a quest. Here, it's kind of a quest. The kids find themselves on a ship by mistake, accidentally activate it, and now they're lost in space. So they're on a quest to get home. But my issue, and that's all it is. That's all these kids are doing is trying to get home, and they go on an adventure. They meet pirates. Okay, that's fine. But still, these kids, I don't know what they're. Kids can handle the hero's journey. There is no hero's journey here. It's get home. In terms of their character, in terms of the struggles they have at being a child in this time, is not challenged at all. I'm not, and I speak to this only in the sense of, look, you're telling a very bland story with a lot of cool Star Wars characters in it, but at least, at minimum, you should have at least some kind of a morality tale that our little hero protagonist here has to deal with, and that's not happening. It's just him trying to solve the puzzle of how to deal with pirates, of how to get out of this situation, and I feel like that, to say that the hero's journey is solely for adults, I think is not true. I think you can tell the hero's journey even in kids films, and this would be a great opportunity to do that. Maybe they do it in the next few episodes. Maybe there is some kind of hero's journey that I'm not aware of, but you need to establish these things in the first episode, at minimum the first 2 episodes, and we're not there yet. And so, is it a kid show? Yeah. Am I being overly critical of it? Possibly, but I think kids deserve better. And 3, as a father who has a child who watched Disney shows, who watched Descendants over and over and over again, and who watched Zombies over and over again, at least there was some story there. There were characters that she was attracted to. There were characters with wants and needs, with motivations. And I'm just not getting any of that with this. And like I said, kids deserve better. They absolutely do.
Well,
The other thing is,
I agree with you, and I'll just say this: the bottom for Disney is for when it comes to Star Wars has been dropped so far
Mhm.
that even something like this, right, comes along and you're like, oh, my expectations were so low for
Yeah.
Acolyte after Obi-Wan that like it was like you even exceeded those. Was even below those expectations. So my expectations are so low for Star Wars that even something with a pulse like this, I consider, I see things I really can enjoy.
Mhm.
But I agree. So while I agree with you, I'll still give it a mild recommend. Haven't seen the whole show. We'll probably
Yeah. The
I'll-
mild recommend is this is the best Star Wars Disney has put out since The Mandalorian. That's the best thing you can say about it.
It
It
is.
is. I agree with you. I mean, first of all, you mentioned it. You know, the special effects, the sets, the production is amazing. What happened with the Acolyte? What happened with Kenobi, with Obi-Wan? Why do those shows suck so much in terms of production when they had the access to this? You know, the other thing is what's happening with Star Wars and why it's dying is cohesiveness. Look, in the Acolyte, we had witches. Here we have pirates. It doesn't feel like they belong in the same world or that they're part of the same world. You know, there's no singular vision when it comes to Star Wars. And so even with the Tony Gilroy Andor, as much as I like it, it feels very different from this. As much as I like the production values, and it just, there's no cohesive when it comes to Star Wars as a brand in general. And Disney has ruined that. I will, you know, it's a cute adventure, but it needs more. It needs more depth.
Okay. If you had to give it a number rating,
Give it a 5.
I go 5.5.
Okay.
5.5, which is like, look, miles above Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth. There were things that were clever that felt like, oh, that sort of brought me back to why I love Star Wars, or the kid version of the things the kid version of me liked about Star Wars. But I agree with you.
Well,
the original Star Wars, which I saw when I was like 11,
yeah,
you know, I mean,
yeah. I mean,
that. Yeah.
you used to say regarding Star Wars, great storytelling, and you can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, you know, okay. Oh yeah, this is the point I wanted to make. If you removed everything Star Wars in this, would you have pretty much the same story?
I would not care about it. I don't know that I'd care.
Right. So, I mean, it's so Star Wars, adding the Star Wars overlay onto it makes it more interesting than if you didn't have it, which again is not good storytelling.
Yep, I would agree. Although I'm curious to see where Jude Law's character's only been introduced at the end of episode 2. We get more of him in 3, and he's me, he's driving the show for me.
Yeah, that third episode.
It was only
Jude Law takes over in the third episode in terms
he takes over and he's interesting.
Yeah.
And if this whole show was just the kids, I would not be interested. I'd be out. But Jude Law is like, damn, he should have been in the movies. I mean, he could have been in Mandalorian or the sequels, whatever. That guy's solid. He is amazing in this. So he's the one that, like, again, like I said, only the kids, I'm out.
Yeah, here's the thing.
More adult characters, keep it, you know, to me, I'm interested now.
Here's the thing, kids, when I was a kid and I watched shows like this, there's always some character, which I'll call the protagonist, that you want to be, that you aspire to be. You know, the kids are fine, but there's nothing that stands out about them other than the fact that they're kids. One of them's a STEM specialist. The others got weird goggles. But it's not until Jude Law shows up to where you think to yourself, maybe I want to be like him. Maybe he's
great.
Whether he's a Jedi or whatever, maybe I want to be this character. And now all of a sudden, I think kids become more engaged in the show thanks to him.
Look, in terms of a character, Jude Law is fantastic in this, and he's the reason to keep watching. And I will keep watching, and we'll do a roundup or we'll review the series when it concludes, but I don't think we'll be covering it week to week. Final thoughts, we'll go to chat.
Yeah, just another blind series from Disney. I mean, I do wrestle. I'm sitting here thinking, is this better than Descendants? Is this better than Zombie High? You know, I mean, as much as I cringe when I think of those shows, I feel like that at least they're more interesting. You know, because you have characters in them that you like and you're drawn to. I don't think these kids, and we're talking like 9 years old and under, maybe 12. I don't know that I'm exactly drawn to it, or kids will be drawn to it. And so I feel like this shows a little bit of a misstep. But look, I've been wrong before. I think just because it's Star Wars, kids will like it and it'll do well and they'll succeed. Blah blah blah.